that really, really limit what he can have access to. He just got an iPad for Christmas. That was a grandma gift. But other than
Does he have a phone?
No.
We thought Solange shut you down. Fuck Solange. Anyways, it's Jules Smith, Beyonce's nephew. Because that's the only way y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. Well, the bitch is disrespectful as fuck. And that's another reason why I think he a fucking punk. Because what man unprovokingly disrespects women? Like, that just don't make sense to me. So I feel like he started that argument because he wanted to, like, that's how he liked to initiate sex. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Solange, girl, what have you done to your son? Julia Smith is once again in the news for being nasty and allegedly jumping a woman after agreeing to meet up with her at a hotel. The thing is, this isn't the first time Jules is moving crazy, and it has people wondering why his dad or Solange haven't stepped up to correct him or at least get him off Beyonce's internet. But if what Wendy Williams is saying is true, Solange's name shouldn't even be brought into the conversation because she wasn't in the picture to begin with.
Jules used to slide in Hollywood Unlocked's DMs when he was younger, trying to get my staff to hook him up with different female celebrities, one of which was Sky Jackson. Y'all can go do the Googling on that. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying that man did his own thing. And I felt very uncomfortable with Jules in our DMs because me being Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, a gay man, I don't want Jules in our DMs. So I would DM him back and say, hey, Jules, like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, da-da-da. And then I contacted a friend of mine named Fadia who used to be at Meta to say, hey, can you please get a message to Solange that her son is in our DMs? He wanted us to help him get verified, a whole bunch of different things. So I told Fadia to go and tell Solange, and I know she went and did that.
Okay, so Jules is that folks have been avoiding for a while now, because that man is a menace. The first time we got a glimpse into his behavior was when he was around a teenager, around 15 years. And leaked private messages between him and Disney actress Sky Jackson in a group chat and had all kinds of derogatory things to say about her. An intimate video of him and Sky being also got out. And as much as the narrative was that it got leaked, it was all but confirmed that it was really Jules who put it out there to embarrass her. Music. Word also got out that he got a girl pregnant and was about to let history repeat itself by being a teen dad. Jules didn't want her to keep the baby, but talked about how he would take care of the child if it was really his. He was doing all this as a teenager, but folks let it slide because it felt like he still had a lot of time to straighten up. Another reason why people weren't quick to put him down was due to the love and respect they have for music Solange. I mean, she is one of the least problematic celebs we have. She is cool, artsy, goes against the grain, and not in I have to stand out against my sister type of way. It's just who she is, and she's been able to carve her own special place in the music industry. Solange always knows how to present herself. Music, and from what we know, she's got a mean right hook, and Jay-Z can attest to that. However, folks are starting to wonder what type of mother she really is. Now that he's grown and active in the public eye, it doesn't look like Jules has done much growth or given any direction. In March, he was called out for scamming the gay community by agreeing to host an event at a gay nightclub in Atlanta, then refused to do any of the scheduled interviews. Then he popped out with 42-year-old Tommy Lee, a woman who can best be described as a walking calamity. It also didn't help that Tommy is older than Solange and has a troubled history as an ex-felon. Even before that, when he was only 18, he started dating 25-year-old IG model Arabian, who has been passed around by rappers like NBA YoungBoy and Ghana. And recently, he was called out by a female streamer named Rhea for getting mad at her for no reason and assaulting her after they got intimate.
But he grabbed my arm and he threw me up off of him. And he was like, get off of me. He threw me off of him, and at this point, he's literally mad. And I'm like, what the fuck is he mad about? Like, I'm still at this point confused because I literally cannot figure out for the life of me why the fuck this nigga mad. This whole entire time this boy keep getting upset for no fucking reason. Like, how the fuck do you wake up out of your sleep mad? How? I've never seen no shit like that in my life. Like, I'm literally shocked.
As if that wasn't sad enough, he brought out a few pew and threatened her, broke her phone, and refused to pay the $120 needed to fix it or own up to his actions in any way. Even Beyonce has banned Blue Ivy from hanging out with Jules because she doesn't want him to have a bad influence on her. We know that Solange had him pretty young at 17, but from what they've told us, word is that his father, Daniel Smith, was reportedly paid $1 million to marry Solange. But regardless of the circumstances, his father has been in his life. We've seen pictures of the two of them together up until he was a teenager. And from what Mama Tina said, Solange has a whole village helping her, and the family was all involved in making sure that Jules grew up a well-rounded individual. So, what exactly is the issue? Right now, music, there's no difference between Jules and someone like Blueface or NBA Youngboy. In fact, the only difference is that he has more money, access, a recognizable family name, and that people expected more from him than constantly getting involved in the struggle life. But with everything that's been coming out about the Cardinals family, Wendy is shocked that anyone still believes that anything put out about them by mainstream media is true. They keep a tight lid and only let the media report on the things that help their brand and image. Can you imagine what would have happened to Solange's career if news outlets actually branded her as a deadbeat mom? Now, having an absent father or being one is almost expected in the Black community, and no one would bat an eye if Juelz's father disappeared completely. But if Solange did the same, it would be career suicide, and there would definitely be some blowback on Beyoncé and Mama Tina. So, of course, they put pictures out regularly and talked about how everyone was all hands on deck and made sure Solange didn't feel alone in her journey. Music, even Juelz has talked about his mom being his biggest supporter in just about everything.
Mom's gonna be mom's always, that's my biggest support system for sure, so.
What do you admire most about her?
She's just the fly, she's the best.
Yeah? Now, if anyone has been on this family's neck, it has been Wendy Williams, and trust me, she has a lot of receipts on them. In fact, extended family members actually revealed to Wendy that it wasn't the case at all. Yes, Juelz and Solange did live in the same house whenever she wasn't out in New Orleans. But still, this was pretty much a child raising a child. Remember, she was a teenager and has always been a free-spirited person who wanted to do her own thing when she wanted to do it. And it's fair to say that having a child wasn't enough to slow her down. Juelz was reportedly left to Mama Tina or Beyoncé to take care of. Whenever Solange was at home with him, she was usually very lenient. She didn't offer any discipline when he was younger and was more concerned with being his friend rather than a mother that can provide structure. His dad wasn't much better and played the role of the cool dad without giving much or any correction. Insiders also claimed that Beyoncé and Solange had an argument over the things Juelz was allowed to get away with. Beyoncé felt like Solange should have a better handle on her son, but she wasn't having any of it. Solange claimed that Beyoncé was also an absent mother who has a lot of help to cover it up. Meanwhile, Solange claimed that she really only had their cousin Angela for help. Mama Tina was off doing her own thing and cared more about catering to Beyoncé's needs than Solange. In fact, it got to the point that Matthew Knowles had to step in to settle the feud, and they still couldn't see eye to eye. This fallout reportedly happened in 2023. So, it makes sense why Beyoncé never thanked Solange in her Grammy speech that year, even though she gave a shout-out to the rest of her family. And if anything, Solange should have listened to her sister. When Jules released those chats and intimate videos with Sky, and also put out that video of Beyoncé's award room and a clip of her talking to someone, Solange and his dad should have pulled him to the side and set him straight immediately. She should have also taken the time to teach him how to move in the media, and the fact that he's always going to be watched. But the way we've seen Jules act out, especially when put side by side with Blue Ivy, it's clear that he hasn't really been guided well. And I won't be surprised if he ends up being the next Ray J if nothing is done to check him. And people have been talking about it saying, I'm looking at Solange and her child's father. Very weird, because what do you mean your son pushed a woman to the ground, beat her, held a pew-pew to her head, smashed her phone, and poured Casamigos on her? Are you raising Nate Jacobs, or what? As much as I love the Carters, Jules is somewhat a bit of a deviant and has a pattern, but their team is great at scrubbing it off the internet. Jules is so aggressive towards women. Like, what the F is that boy's dad teaching him? But I don't think Solange is condoning it. Well, I hope not. Do you think Jules' behavior is something to worry about? Or is it just going through regular young adult issues? Sound off in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.